Hello student, this is my third recording on chapter 2, reproduction in lower and higher animal. In the earlier recording, I have completed reproduction in lower animals and started with the reproduction in higher animal. Now as in the reproduction in higher animal, you have example of human reproductive system. In the earlier recording, I have started with the male reproductive system and completed certain part of it. What we have completed? We have completed studying the structure of testes, structure of various duct involved, and the structure of glands, seminal vesicle, prostate, corpus gland, and this external genitalia. Now here in this recording I am continuing with the male reproductive system and trying to finish it off. In this system you have certain terminology involved. So first I am explaining those terminology. One is puberty or sexual maturity in male. What it is, generally the sexual puberty or sexual maturity comes once the juvenile phase when the juvenile phase ends. In human beings, it starts with the age of 12 and continues till 15. In this age or in the onset of the puberty, the reproductive system becomes functional. The sex organ develops completely and start functioning. They start producing the gametes as well as the sex hormones. In humans, the hormone testosterone start producing and the secondary sexual characters start appearing. Human beings, the hormone secretion and the function of the glands remain functional throughout the life, where it is not so in the female. Now the another term which is involved with the reproductive system is a semen. What it is? It's actually a fluid ejaculated by male during sexual arousal. The nature of this male is viscous, alkaline, ranging the pH 7.2 to 7.7. It is milky in color, milky fluid containing spermatozoa and a mixture of secretion of various glands, that is seminal vesicle, prostate and corpus gland. In a single ejaculation, a male gives 2.5 to 4 ml of semen, which contain almost 400 million sperms. Large number of sperms to ensure fertilization. Now the next which comes is the structure the production of sperms. And if you remember, the sperms are produced by testes. And in the testes, which organ is playing a crucial role or important role in production of the sperm is these tubule called as seminiferous tubules. Now the transverse section, if you remember, the transverse section of seminiferous tubule is circular, lined by many cells. It generally inside it lined by a single layer of cells, and that single layer of cell is called as a primordial cell or germinal epithelium. Now this germinal epithelium undergoes into process of spermatogenesis and produces the sperms. These sperms in the young stage, in the early stage, remains attached to these cells, Sertoli cells, for the nourishment in bundles. Now we'll see what spermatogenesis is. The spermatogenesis is nothing but the gamete formation or the sperm formation process. It is a process. See, this generally comes in the exam. It is a process of formation of male gamete, that is sperm or spermatozoa, from germinal epithelial cells of the testes. Onset of puberty, when the male has attained the puberty, the hypothalamus gland begins to secrete gonadotropic releasing hormone. Now this gonadotropin releasing hormone initiates secretion of another hormone called as FSH or follicle stimulating hormone. This follicle stimulating hormone induces spermatogenesis in these cells. Which cells? Germinal epithelial cells or primordial cells, which are inside the seminiferous tubule. Each seminiferous tubule is lined by a single layer of cuboidal epithelial cells called as germinal epithelial cells. Now, these cells undergoes into spermatogenesis and it passes through three phases. Now what those three phases are? The first phase is called as a multiplication phase, second phase is called as a growth phase, and the third phase is called as a maturation phase. Now what happens in the first phase, in multiplication phase? In the multiplication phase, this germinal epithelial or primordial cell undergoes into mitosis many a time and produces, one cell produces many cells, and those cells are called as spermatogonia. Those are, since it is undergoing through mitosis, so there is no reduction of the chromosome number. The chromosome number remains same, that is 46, and the cells are still diploid. Now once actually they become spermatogonia, they stop to dividing, they undergoes into growth process, and they grow, they enlarges in size, and that process is called as growth phase. And once they attain the complete growth, the cells are referred as primary spermatocytes and they are diploid. Then these primary spermatocytes undergoes into meiosis, and as you know, meiosis is in two phases, meiosis 1, meiosis 2. When the meiosis 1 takes place, it gives rise to two reduced cells, and they are called as secondary spermatocyte. They are reduced, so 46 chromosome becomes 23, and this again undergoes into second meiosis. Second meiosis is same as mitosis, so chromosome number remains same, so it remains haploid only. Here they have become haploid, so this remain haploid. Now after second meiosis, the secondary spermatocytes become spermatid. Now once the spermatids are formed, they undergoes into another phase of metamorphosis, and that process is called as spermiogenesis, and they changes their shape. The cells enlarges and acquires this shape. Right, you can see this shape. This shape is having three parts: the upper oval shape part, then a long mid this shape, and then a fine tail. Now this is a spermatozoa, or called as sperms. Now we'll see the structure of sperm or spermatozoa. Now if you remember, this is the structure of the sperm. Now during this spermiogenesis, the spermatid gets converted into a sperm, and each sperm is a microscopic elongated haploid motile cells. This is one cell, student. Now it produces through a process called as spermatogenesis. Now this entire cell is divisible into three parts. This is the upper part called as a head, then it is the second part called as a middle piece, and the long elongated tail. Now the head is oval in shape, containing haploid nucleus, and above this they have acrosome. You can see this is acrosome, which forms a cap-like structure, and it is formed from the Golgi body. This acrosome plays very important role. Why? Because it contains hydrolytic enzyme, hyaluronidase, and proteolytic enzymes like zonalysine and corona penetrating. Now then next it has a small neck. This neck contains two centrioles. It contains two centrioles. The upper centriole is called as a proximal centriole, and the lower one is called as a distal centrioles. Below this it has a neck. Below this it has a middle piece. This middle piece has an axial filament. You can't see here in the diagram, but it is having axial filament. Surrounding to this axial filament, there are 10 to 14 spirally turns of mitochondria. You can see these mitochondria. So the axial filament is passing through the inside the mitochondria. Now this mitochondria plays important role for the giving the energy for the movement of the sperm. Now the last part is this thin elongated tail. It is long cylindrical tapering part containing cytoplasm and the axial filament. The tail helps the spermatozoa to swing. It lashes actually and helps in moving the sperms ahead. Now with this I have completed, student, the entire male reproductive system. Now in the next recording I will start with the female reproductive system. Go through in the textbook. If you find any difficulty or if you are unable to understand, you please ask me through WhatsApp. Thank you.